Have you ever said to yourself or others, I'm just a mom? Have you ever wondered what your purpose is in this world and if you're influencing anyone? Through this series, Fabulous Friday feature, we're here to let you know that you are so much more than just a mom by featuring moms who are just like you and who we think are making a fabulous impact on the world. Motherhood is one of the most influential jobs on this planet. In addition to being moms, the women here we're featuring on this show have tapped into a pure joy within themselves that has enabled them to serve themselves, their families, their communities, and therefore the rest of the world. The women on this show are pebbles that cause a ripple effect of positive change in the world. It is my pleasure to bring you our Fabulous Friday feature. Hi, this is Jessica Dugas, intuitive mentor of moms and founding member of the Moms Online Mastermind, where I help you to reduce stress and overwhelm in your life so that you can live with more joy. On today's show, we're welcoming someone who has quickly become one of my best friends and biz besties online, Shoshana Chaim. She, along with her husband Adam, are the owners of PlantTrainers.com and the Fab Fun duo behind the Plant Trainers podcast. When Shoshana and her family were faced with devastating and life-changing health news, they not only set out to change their own lives, but the lives of others by helping as many people as possible avoid or be free of unnecessary stress caused by the standard American diet and lifestyle. Shoshana is a passionate author, speaker, and wellness coach who's joining us today to share her heart and how she's helping to change the world one meal at a time. Welcome, Shoshana. I am so glad to have you on episode 2 of our Fabulous Friday feature. And I'm excited that you're here for many reasons. A lot of because I was on your show. We've got to be really good friends and biz besties. And I love the opportunity to share your message that I'm also very passionate with on your behalf now, and partly thanks to you. And I'm excited to share your message with everybody, so thanks for being here.
I'm grateful that I'm here today. Thank you for thinking of me.
Yay. All right. So I like to start out the show with a moment of gratitude, which is similar to yours. However, we're a little bit focused on moms here. So I would love for you to mention any mom in your life that you have gratitude for. It doesn't have to be your own, who has influenced your life and why.
Thank you. I love that you're doing this. I think that's such a nice way to start the show. I made it kind of general, and I'm kind of dedicating my gratitude to that mom, because we all know or have been that mom who says, I can't do it. It's possible for other people. It's just too hard. And then through the Plant Trainers podcast, through Healthy Plant-Based Families, I get so many messages saying, thank you so much for what you've done for us. You've allowed us or given us a way to create what we thought was impossible, and we're there. And it's not because of me. It's not because what I've done. It's because people have taken ownership of their life. They've found a way, no matter what it was, whether it was listening to the podcast, joining my Facebook group, finding other resources out there, and they made it happen. So for everybody who's that mom, whether they've already gone through that or they're about to go through that today, starting today, I'm just grateful for them.
I love that answer so much, especially since when you're watching, you're going to see an intro, or you saw an intro at the very beginning of the show where I talk about my reasoning for creating this particular series. And it's for that mom who's sitting at home going, I don't know what my purpose is other than changing diapers. I don't why am I can't do everything that everybody else is doing. This show is really meant to inspire you for what other moms are doing, so you can stand up and go, hey, I can take control of my life, and I can influence other people too. Like, you have such a big purpose for being here. And I love that. Gratitude for that mom. That's awesome.
And seeing them inspired helps inspire me more too.
Yes, for sure. All right, so let's get into the deep stuff here, Shoshana. Why do you think the world needs your work? How exactly do you help people?
Okay, so the world needs my work, and not just my work. There's a lot of people out there doing what I do too, but The reason why my work is so important is because the world is sick, especially this part of the world, North America. They're sick. The top 3 killers are heart disease, cancer, respiratory disease, and that's closely followed by stroke, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. And a lot of that comes back to diet. It comes back to lifestyle. And 80% of diseases that people have out there are either preventable or reversible by diet and lifestyle. So they're unnecessary. We're going through those traumas. We're spending money on medication. We're spending time in doctor's offices. We're taking time away from our families and creating what we want to with our lives as individual women and as part of our family. And it's unnecessary. It's because of diet and lifestyle. And because I have an understanding of that, because I have a skill and a knack of helping people overcome the hurdles in their life that make them feel like they can't achieve what they need to achieve. That's why my work is really so important. And I want people to be healthy. I want people to be setting an example for everybody in their family. And I want our children to grow up with a better understanding of food, where it comes from, how it affects our body, how it affects the world that we live in, so they don't have to go into their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s with all of these diseases and all of these adrenal fatigue and all of these other things that we're experiencing and have to spend all their time reversing it. I want them to live and explore and prosper.
I love so much of what you're talking about. And I know for it to be true, because it's funny yet not funny to me that every single thing you mentioned at the beginning of what you were saying is a laundry list of what my immediate family has been diagnosed with. So grandparents, parents, and then household, every single thing on that list. Everything. And that is mind-blowing to me, and a lot of what was really a wake-up call. And I also love how you're talking about, why don't we want better for our children? And I talk about this a lot with the mindset work that I do. Why not give our children the skills that we didn't have when we were little, so they don't take as long as we've taken to learn the lessons? So I love that.
Absolutely. We teach children to put on their seatbelt before we start the car, and accidents is only the number 3 killer of people in 2017 in the United States. So we need to teach them more about the foods that they're eating and how that affects their body, because it seems that that's killing more people.
So important. Absolutely. So it's interesting to me, because as I've gone on my own journey with our household becoming plant-based, it's definitely made me more aware of what other people are doing as well, and choices that they're making. And it's funny, because as soon as you adopt something, it's like, there it is right in your face all the time. And then a lot of feelings come up around it too. So who do you think needs a wellness coach, and what makes you different than, say, like a mainstream nutritionist?
Well, I'm different from a mainstream nutritionist because I concentrate on plant-based lifestyle, but not because I decided one day that plant-based is the best. Let me learn all the information about plant-based and then spit it out to everybody and claim it's the best in the world. It was tests. It was really tests. I mean, we researched. Adam, my husband, was sick. We researched, why does he have this tumor? Why does he have heart disease? How are we going to get rid of it? And within a year, his heart disease cleared up. His tumor started to shrink with no medication. So, and it's science-based research. And if the science changes, my outlook will change. There's a lot that will impact it, but my outlook will change too. So, and also what I do is I take into account the whole person. What is their lifestyle like? What is their community like? What is their family like? What is their movement like? What is their sleep like? I look at the whole person. It's not just about the food that we put in our mouth. As you know, there's so much more that goes into that. And people who need, a health coach or a lifestyle coach or whatever it is that you want to call me, family-based nutritionist, whatever it is that you want to call me, it's somebody who lacks, and lack is not a negative word, but it's somebody who lacks in the knowledge of the research out there. It's somebody who's lacking in the accountability of showing up for themselves and their family. Somebody who lacks the plan of how they're going to accomplish their goals, but they're ready to start now. If they're not ready, then they don't need a coach. They need to be ready. It needs to come from within. And when we look at the whole person and we put it all together, they're usually a success.
I love that about making sure that you're ready, and that indicates that you are ready for a coach, because it doesn't do anybody any good for us as coaches to kind of pull people along. And as a guy, Mark Mawhinney, that I follow his podcast, he's a coach for coaches that always has amazing things to say. He was just talking about this. He says it's equivalent to, running a race with someone and carrying them over the finish line. It doesn't do anybody any good from either standpoint to do that. And I also love that it really truly is what you do for any point in someone's journey, but especially for that beginner who, because I thought about plant-based lifestyle for a long time, but like something wasn't connecting in my brain. And you really make it so simple to understand. But then, I think about it too, that I was truly ready now too. If I would have met you, 5-6 years ago when I first started thinking about it, I still probably wouldn't have started till now.
It needs to be a partnership, and you had that time to work up to it. Yeah.
Very true. All right. So I want to know what makes you absolutely passionate about your work. When you wake up in the morning, what lights you up and say, okay, I'm ready for another day?
I just think that we all deserve more. We deserve more as women. We deserve to feel good. We deserve to not feel frustrated about what to feed our children and that our children won't eat, or we don't know what to eat, or as hard as we're trying to diet, we're still gaining 1 to 5 pounds a year. We deserve so much more than that. We deserve energy. We deserve to feel sexy, vibrant in our bodies and confident. And our children deserve so much better. Like I talked about before, so much better than we got. Our parents or whoever raised us did the best that they could with what they can. And in today's internet sensational world, we have so much more information, and it's a pity if we don't utilize that. And our children really do need and deserve more than we do, so that they can enjoy their lives, so that we can enjoy the rest of our lives that we have, and have an amazing, unique, and best quality of life possible for our remaining days, and not have to think about those either.
Yes, I agree 150% on that. And definitely think that, you're by far, I think some coaches, as far, or even, just plant-based people who are out there online, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or whatever, some of them have been this kind of lifestyle for a very, very long time, or even may have grown up in that kind of lifestyle. And I feel like you have a passion behind what you do, because it truly was a situation for you too, where it was life or death. And you were put in that situation of, okay, something's got to give here. And so, in addition to you wanting to help other people, I feel like that passion is also there because of what you went through and having dealt with that. And I think it really comes through in your work, from what I see anyway. All right, so I want to have a moment, because you're so passionate about your work, of gratitude for your strengths. What do you feel like strength-wise really sets you apart from other wellness coaches or other plant-based experts, besides what I just said?
Well, I think that after spending 15 years in the classroom, working with children day to day, working with parents, working with families, whether it was on getting children to eat better, getting them to think better, calming their energy levels, right? Dealing with all different kinds of people, that comes in as a big strength, because it allows me to work with so many different types of people from so many different areas of life with different problems. So that's definitely a big strength. And I think part of my strength, and that a lot of other programs are missing, and it's not a bad thing. It's just that bringing it back to that food literacy, like I talked about, food education, and bringing it back for kids. So we're really thinking outside of the box. We just published a book, Yummy Foods. Where did it go? I brought it with me. Yummy Foods activity book for kids where we're getting the family to work together to learn more about food. Where does it come from? What effect does it have on our body? Where does it grow? What does who's affected by growing these foods? And we're trying to think outside the box to bring the family together, bring the family back to what it's supposed to be, and have everybody be harmoniously healthy together. And I think that's a little niche that's missing, and it's something that we're really passionate about. Sometimes we start with the adults and then we trickle down to the kids, and then sometimes we just go for the whole family. We jump right in.
Mm-hmm. And I love that everything that you do is so customized to the individual that you're working with. I know for us, when we started working with Shoshana, we started with one of my children because she was having a lot of health issues. And then we kind of just says, okay, it's time for everybody, thanks to my husband being a very all or nothing.
You being ready. It was him being ready too.
Yes. I mean, I could do as much as I could do, but I know a lot of you guys can relate that it is very, very difficult when your household, especially when you have a large household like mine, when you're on different pages, especially where diet is concerned. That's a huge, even when I talk to people about our own journey, one of the first things that people say, if they're not plant-based, they say oh, my husband, no.
So that's another place where I could step in with a strength. When we started, I shouldn't say we started, when our house started, it was Adam. It was my husband who started. And I was the typical man who said, what are you talking about? What's vegan? No, I need to have my steak. I need to have my cheese. I'm never giving that up. I'll have it on my birthday for every year and next November. So I know what it's like to be on that other side, and the thoughts and the feelings that the one who's more against it is feeling. And I know what I needed to be able to come along. I know how to kind of be butter people up so that they understand. I shouldn't use the word butter. How to margarine people up.
Vegan butter people up.
How to oil you up. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's a really good quality too. And I hadn't thought about that before too, that you were the one on that side of saying, I'm sorry, what?
I'm like, you are eating chicken on Friday. Good.
All right. So if you could give one, if someone's sitting there and saying, that's me, I don't think so. If you could give someone just one piece of advice or tip today that could encourage them to consider a plant-based lifestyle, what would you tell them right now?
Okay. So I want you to listen carefully. If you are totally happy, if you are the size that you are happy being and you're happy in your skin, if you have all the energy in the world to do everything that you need to do, if you don't have pain, if you don't have anything that is holding you back in life, continue what you're doing. Go watch Cowspiracy, go watch What the Health, go watch Forks Over Knives and see if your mind changes. If you are not that person I just described, if you are experiencing pain from rheumatoid arthritis, if you are overweight, if you have diabetes, if you have any of these diseases that I talked about before, stroke, Alzheimer's, cancer, respiratory disease, heart disease, and you know that you need to make a difference, give yourself 30 days. Make the commitment for 30 days. And, or maybe give yourself 3 months and do it progressively. You don't have to do it cold tofu. You can go progressively, but give yourself 30 days of completely plant-based and see if things change. No, you may not have eaten cheese for 30 days, but if you are convinced that this is not going to help you, at the end of the 30 days, eat a whole bunch of cheese, but at least give yourself the opportunity to experience it, see if your pain gets better, see if your inflammation clears up, see if your skin clears up, see if you get out of bed in the morning, see if you actually want to play with your children, see if those kinds of things change, and if they do have a positive change, stick with it or adapt it for your lifestyle. But without trying, you will never know, and you have nothing to lose but a couple of pounds or some inflammation.
I love that for sure. And I think so many people get stuck in not starting at all because they're afraid. We often think of things as such a permanent thing. And so we think, we think of trying plant-based, oh my gosh, like no cheese forever. No, we're not saying forever. Just try it for a little period of time. And I think one of the best pieces of advice you had given me too in the very beginning was, sometimes we look at the whole picture and go, oh my gosh, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, no cheese, no meat, no blah, and we spin ourselves out of control. When you told me, just one meal at a time, just start with one meal at least. You're doing something, and something is better than nothing, for sure.
We could do it by meals. We could do it by food groups. We could do it completely. There's so many different ways to go about it that will make you feel more comfortable, but fear is okay. I want to tell people that it's okay to feel scared, but how scared are you going to be after cardiac arrest? That's really scary. So let's take that fear and push it into a 30 days meat free.
I would rather, for sure, have a fear that's positively motivated than something that's a fear of, getting one of these diseases or dealing with one of these diseases or something like that. I would rather be afraid of, trying a new food.
Absolutely.
So I love all the answers to your questions. I, of course, love that everything you're doing in the world. And I couldn't be more thankful for the impact that you've had on our family because, and it's interesting, if anybody wants to see what somebody's journey has looked like, please feel free to message me because we have 8 people in our home and every single person in our house has had a very different, reaction to this. We've had very different results to things. My husband has dropped a ridiculous amount of weight. And I'm like, a pound here, half a pound there, very different, response to changing to this way, this kind of lifestyle. And so, just understand that when you see people out there having different reactions to things, you're going to experience something completely different. And I'm just so thankful that we have people like Shoshana to educate us about this stuff so that we don't feel so lost when we get started and we don't feel so alone and we have somebody to hold our hand through the process. So I just really, really appreciate so much what you're doing and for being here with me today.
Thank you for your kind words.
All right. So if our viewers want to connect with you, in addition to having Shoshana's links above, if you want to tell everybody what you've got going on or how they can connect with you, that would be awesome.
Absolutely. So if you're feeling that fear and you're like, help me now, feel free. I check all my own emails. I check all my own Facebook messages. So you could definitely, PM me on Facebook. That's not a problem at Shoshana Chaim. And then if you go to planttrainers.com, you'll be led to the Plant Trainers podcast, which is my podcast, and Jessica has been on it. So you can always listen to that one. And if you want to know my full story about my husband's diagnosis and everything that happened with that, you can listen to episode 3 over there. And then you'll also be brought to recipes, to our blog. There's links to our Yummy Foods activity book for kids. I have another book coming out about mindfulness for children in the next 2 months. So I'm just really excited. And sometimes you never know, I might be coming to a city near you to speak at one of the Veg Fests.
Yes, I am hoping that someone gets their act together. If anybody's listening that has pull in the Atlanta Veg Fest, take her. Take her so I can give her a hug in person and thank her for all the work that she's done in our lives as well. And I really, again, I appreciate everything you do. All of Shoshana's links will be above. And thank you again for being with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm grateful to share my message. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're interested in surrounding yourself with fabulous moms just like the one we heard from today, or becoming a featured mom yourself, I encourage you to join us in the Moms Online Mastermind. You can find out more about our community at www.momclub.online. You're a mom that I believe can make a big difference in this world. We'll see you next time.